He is Canada's greatest songwriter with more than 10 million albums sold worldwide. And tomorrow, Gordon Lightfoot is releasing his first new song in 12 years. I had a chance to talk to him about his new music, coming home to tour, and what he loves to listen to. Take a look. You, Gordon, you are set to release your first song in 12 years, Plans of My Own. Can you tell me why today? Why now?
The recording engineer called and said one day about 6 months ago and said, Gordon, we have an old recording of yours here that you did in 1991 that sounds pretty good and I don't want to delete it from the system here.
What if he had never called?
Well, it probably would have got swept under the rug someplace, I guess, but it's coming out and it's fun and it's all, you know, it's a very difficult one to play too, so I've had to work on it because they will expect me to play it at Massey Hall this year.
On the 12-string guitar, right?
Yeah, I have to play it on a 12-string. It's which is not my easiest instrument to play. But anyway, I'm practicing it, and I think I'm going to be able to do a respectable job on this thing because it was too much for me at the time, I swear.
Do you have anything that you could treat us with your old guitar?
Sure, I'll play the...
Well, let's play it.
There's bits of give and take when I make it on down the line and out through the sky. We don't have much of anything, but lots of do or die. Then you reach the part where the heartaches come.
Most Canadians would agree that watching you perform at Massey Hall is an experience of a lifetime. You started performing there in the 60s. You are one of the most decorated members on their stage. You perform there more than any other. What does that mean to you? So many people, I think, would say their ego could be inflated, but you say that it anchors you.
It's traditional that we do Massey Hall. We booked it 1 year and we did it, and then next year all of a sudden, hey, it looks like we could do another one. So we did another one, and then we did one every year for about 12 or 15 years.
Does it feel like home because of that?
Yeah, it was like we just book it. It would be like a signpost along the way. At Massey Hall, you make it to the next Massey Hall like you're still.
Performing for you, you've said it's like communicating with the audience. Is it the same today as it was 50 years ago?
Yeah, we love doing the work. And they really know that. They know that I really believe in the material. They can tell, I suppose, you know. And when I just give it every ounce that I can deliver when I'm up there, and it's always been that way with me. Even old, getting old like this, I mean, I still exercise and do all that stuff because I want to be ready to do this when I do it, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't want people to be disappointed, you know. I can never give them less than they expect. If I can,
I'd like to play a bit of a rapid-fire question game with you. So it's easy. I'm going to say my favorite songs, and I want you to tell me the first thing that pops into your mind. Are you game?
Okay.
Okay. Sundown.
I think of a farmhouse out in King where I wrote that song, because every night it faced the west, and I would go out there, the sun would set right behind the hills on the farm, and I got the idea while watching the sun set one night.
Very romantic.
And I twisted the story around a little bit.
For Love and Me? Well,
that was one of those ones that I wish I'd never written because it was a brutal song and it taught me a lesson. It was a very chauvinistic thing to do, to write a song like that. So I always felt that way.
Wow.
So it taught me a lesson. I softened that approach. It's a pretty nasty song.
Do you still sing it?
No, I sang it for the first 20 years. My conscience bothered me so badly I stopped singing it. 23 or 24 years ago, I forget for which.
Okay, last one. If you could read my mind.
If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell.
That's a great one with the crowd. And we always save it until near the end of the show.
You make them wait for it. They really
no,
want.
No, it's not the last one. It's not, the follow-up materials, but the support materials really good. We do after it. But I save it for about fourth or fifth from the end. You know, I have a certain spot for that one. If you could read my mind. By that time, we've got total communication going on.
From the ashes, I have kept the home fires burning after.
With all the incredible musicians you've worked with, who do you listen to? When you can sit back on a Saturday and turn on some tunes, who do you put on?
How's about Stompin' Tom Connors?
Excellent choice.
He was one of my dear friends. You mean the music of the day? Well, the latest album I listened to is the one by Drake. I listened to the Drake album.
You do not.
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing.
And you're a fan?
Well, I wasn't until I heard that he'd been on the number one on the chart for 5 weeks. And I said, well, I guess I better check this one out. And
Oh my goodness. That's incredible.
There's 19 songs on that album.
Do you have a favorite?
I like the part early on where he starts talking about his family, how you must stay in touch with your family.
Yeah.
You know, he's got something to say. Musically, and it's really, really, really powerful.
Bob Dylan famously has called you one of his favorite songwriters and said when he heard a Lightfoot song, he wished, quote, it would last forever. And he was recently honored with the Nobel Prize for Literature. So what do you think about that?
Well, Bob Dylan has been very kind to me. I met him when I was with the same management company in New York. So we got to visit up there at Woodstock long before the Woodstock Festival. They all lived up there. It was already legendary living up in later years in the 70s when they were coming into Toronto a lot, and getting together with the band and all those people. They'd come and party at my place. I'm quite honored to say I became like party central.
You were the host
for a while. In Rosedale, I was the most centrally located place. Everyone would come up there, and there'd be all kinds of people. There's so many of them that Christophers, everybody. Ronnie Hawkins would be there. Allen Ginsberg, the poet, was there one time, I remember. Ramblin' Jack Elliott and Joan Baez and Joni Mitchell and James Taylor, and boom, you just go right down.
Gordon, this interview is set to air not just on any old Thursday, but on your birthday. And so, I thought it was only fitting. I thought that we could cheers to a cupcake to say thank you for this interview. Thank you for the new song, for new material, and thank you for just letting us experience your music with you. So cheers. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Dig in. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.